Bookum, bookum.
Mads, congrats on the win. Great performance.
Thank you.
Talk to me about it. I mean, how did things play out in there the way you expected them to?
This went exactly the opposite of what I expected.
Really?
I wanted to stand and fucking bang with him. Pretty much that's what I want to do all my fights, but what usually happens is like I hit him with two good like calf kicks, and in this case that was the case. Calf kicks, I hit him good to the body, and then they desperately shoot at me, and he shot at me, and literally 5 minutes before I was in the locker room going through the exact same positions with my boy Blake Monty over there. And the only difference was that Blake was heavier on top, but I was like, okay, if you give me this, I'm not just going to stand up and be like, oh, no, let's stand and bang. I'll take what you give me, and he gave me that, so, yeah.
So you wanted to stand up, and then, you're like, well, we can deal with this, too. If this is how you want to play it, I'll just take care of you down there.
Yeah, because, like, usually I'm a slow starter, but it's all because I collect data. Like, I proud myself of being a very good defensive fighter, so I just let people fucking throw punches and kicks at me. I'm just collecting, and then the ball just started rolling from there when I got enough data to fuck him up. But in this case, that didn't happen. His calf hurt, and he shot at me, and the rest was history.
Is that just something that you figured out about yourself as your career has gone on, that you're okay just kind of sitting back and seeing how things go for 5 minutes and then you can kick it in? Or would you rather get out there and say, hey, you know what, if I can touch you up early and put you away in 30 seconds, let's just do it?
To be honest, I don't give a shit. Like, yeah, I have my style and I fight my style, and people like it, cool. If people don't like it, fuck them. Like, 2 checks, that's all I gotta say. Yeah.
First win in not quite 2 years, a little short of 2 years, but obviously it had to feel good to get your hand raised in there and be able to put on a performance like that. Did you feel pressure coming into this one based off, back-to-back losses?
Yes and no, but also I asked to fight Justin because I know he's a great fighter, he has a great record, and I was like, I know I'm one of the best featherweights. I can hang with everybody. I do it at my gym with Extreme Couture. I fucking stand and bang with middleweights, and all the motherfuckers there can vouch for me. I got it on video and everything. I know I can hang with the best of them. So I just told myself, hey, when that little bitch on my shoulder started to get nervous, I told myself, hey, this is what you want. You asked for this. Like, what is it good to be fucking 45-0 and fight only cab drivers? I wouldn't be able to look myself in the mirror and be happy with that. Mm-hmm. It's only cool like fighting if you're fighting bad motherfuckers. And that's what I think is cool about MMA. It's like you're allowed to have losses here and there and stuff like that. As long as you just fight bad motherfuckers, then we can look past it. Then we can look through it. Everybody can have a bad night, and that only doesn't go for MMA. It goes for life. It goes for jobs. It goes for relationships. It goes for everything. So we're allowed to fail, and as long as we do our best and we can look ourselves in the mirror when we're done. And in my last fight, not this fight with Justin, but my fight with Pedro, if I'd fought my dead grandma who's 6 feet under and died 16 years ago, she would have whooped my ass. So I could not look myself in the mirror because that was a dog shit performance. That's why I wanted Justin Gonzalez, because he's a beast, and I'm a beast, and I know it, and I showed it.
So how much confidence does this give you then, as you look forward, then knowing that, I wanted this, I put myself through this, and it went the way I needed it to go. So what does that do to kind of boost your morale?
I mean, of course, I'm happy now. I can go home and buy a sick-ass car and give my mom some great dinners and shit. But other than that, what gives me confidence is, like, my coach. I have the best fucking coach in the world, Dennis Davis. Shout out. He's right there behind the cameras. He don't get enough praise. He's like, what can you say? Like, he's Extreme Couture's hidden mass destruction weapon. You know what I mean?
Unsung hero kind of
thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's Dennis. And then that gives me confidence knowing he has like confidence in me, and then going with some of the greatest, baddest motherfuckers on earth every freaking day at Extreme Couture, just learning from them and being like a sponge. Being around Sean Strickland, who's a crazy motherfucker, Chris Curtis, like, even we have Blake Monty right here. Again, he's behind the cameras. He's an Ami, but he's been helping me throughout camp. He's the only motherfucker when you ask him, like, yo, can you show up and spar with me? He'll show up or spar with whoever. He might get his ass whooped for 5 rounds, but he's not crying, he's not bitching, and he's there the next day. Like, being around people like that, that's what gives me confidence. People that can whoop me. You need to be able to give what you take. Like, take what you give, sorry. Yeah.
So in terms of looking forward, then, you know, in this division, which obviously is going to always be one of Bellator's toughest divisions, you got to win.
I
over
know
the
what
top.
you want to ask. Daniel Weichel, stop fucking running. I've been making fucking memes about you all year, shit like that, saying I will make you into a Wiener Schnitzel quicker than you could say Auf Wiedersehen, and you've been quiet like a fucking church mouse. Answer me, motherfucker. Excuse my French.
Mads, I love that you're putting over your coach, Dennis Davis, and your team. You're also one to never make excuses, obviously. But you obviously, from the outside, looked much better tonight. But let me ask you, you're the one in there. How did you feel?
This is the best I've ever felt with my weight cut, my rehydration. Yeah, everything have just been like, this has been the best camp I've ever had. I had no injuries going into it. I've been grappling with Blake, Patchy, going around like Kai, like all these kills at Extreme Couture. I have nothing to say that went like bad. Everything has been great in this camp, and I just felt like I was even surprised because usually after you grapple a lot, you can feel it in the lactic acid in your muscles. After the first round, I was like, damn, I feel like I just started. After the second round, I was like, okay, damn, my recovery is really good. And I think it sounds crazy. I had 21 or 22 pro fights now. I think this is the first fight where I actually learned how to cut weight and actually learn how to rehydrate. All my other fights, I don't think I've been 100% in there.
Mads, you're very experienced, and you've been training at Extreme Couture even longer than most people realize. But that last statement you said, that's pretty surprising because you're a very respected and experienced guy, but you've never done weight cutting until recently. What drove that?
No, I have done weight cutting, but I just haven't done it the right way. Yeah, so, and especially the rehydration. One thing is to cut the weight, that's one thing. But if you don't rehydrate the proper way, whoo, you're going to be in for a long night. And I think this is the first one where I actually learned how to rehydrate the proper way. Shout out to my my nutritionist Jacob from Fuel for Performance. He's been a big part of this. So yeah, shout out to him.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank